In my early 20s, I was training to be a chartered accountant, and I remember one Wednesday night, a missionary from WEC came to speak at the midweek meeting. And the missionary is planning to travel to Macedonia in Eastern Europe. And he explained from Acts chapter 16, verse 9, explained how when he heard the call of the man from Macedonia standing and begging him, come over to Macedonia and help us. And this missionary explained how God used that verse to lead him to Macedonia. And as I heard that message, it really spoke into my heart and life. I was to leave what I was doing to go to my Macedonia, as it were, and to serve the Lord in a new way. And at that point, I didn't know very much about the Bible. And so I felt I needed to be equipped. And so I then enrolled in a 3-year course at Belfast Bible College, where I learned a lot more about the Bible. And it was there at the Bible College when I met my good friend Brian Smith, and we were involved in a little prayer triplet. After that, Brian had just gone into Belfast City Mission, and that encouraged me to take an interest in the Belfast City Mission. And God used that interest to lead me into the work of the Belfast City Mission. So I worked in the Shankly area of Belfast. I then worked in Fairview Road in Newton Abbey. I completed nearly 15 years, and just whenever I was leaving the Belfast City Mission at the end of September 2009, there's a young man called Stanley. Stanley Kyle came into the Belfast City Mission, and so our paths crossed for 1 month, and we had a really great time Belfast City Mission. Then after that, the Lord led me to work with Mission Africa in Nigeria. Did that for 6 months. I then came home from Nigeria, and that was June 2010. I had no idea what I was going to do next, so I then prayed and sought the Lord, and I was looking for direction in my life. I was looking for an open door. I was at a crossroads, as it were. And then Brian Smith telephoned me, said to me, there's a lot of ministers retiring the Presbyterian Church. Why don't you apply? And God then used Brian to really speak into my life to consider serving with the Presbyterian Church in Ireland. And so as I prayed about it, I discussed it with other people, as I discussed it with my minister, I felt that God was leading me into the Presbyterian Church. So I then completed 2 years at Union Theological College in Belfast, then went to Ballyclare Presbyterian Church and became an assistant. In January 2015, I became eligible for a call to a church or churches, and I had no idea where I should go or what I should be doing next. And I talked to my father-in-law, a man called Graham Anderson, Graham and Irene, and they have been a tremendous support to me. And so as I talked with Graham shared this story with me, and how his old pastor had been in Belfast, and I was reading Acts chapter 10 about the Apostle Peter, and how Peter was led to Cornelius' house, who was a Gentile, but that 3 men came to Peter's house, and the Lord spoke to Peter that God had sent him and that he should go with them. And this led Graham's old pastor to travel to a town in Northern Ireland to be the pastor. So then what happened is I prayed, send 3 men to me to ask me to be their minister. And as I looked on that chapter, I noticed the word sea was mentioned, so I felt it's going to be somewhere by the sea, or somehow connected to the sea in some way. So that was in February 2015. I applied to Clough and Seaforde Presbyterian churches. There were 10 people interviewed to be their minister. I was one of the ones that was called for interview. And then 3 people preached at the church, for the church. I was one of the 3. And then the church members came together and issued a call for me to be their minister. And the call was unanimous. And then 3 elders, 3 men came from Clough and Seaforde to the Carrickfergus Presbytery, issued a call to me and asked me to come down to this beautiful County Down area to be the minister of Clough and Seaforde Presbyterian churches. And it has been such a joy and such a privilege and such an honour to serve with these churches here.